I have no idea what went wrong, but I'm going to try this out. If this works well, so that means I'll stop paying this StreamYard. They've actually disappointed me enough. I must be honest. I've been disappointed repeatedly by them. Come in. The heck is that? And this is going to take me a while to possibly study. But I hope I get it anyway. So, I'm gonna. So I'm going to try something different, but first and first, let's see if this is even working. Because it has to before. Yeah, I think it works. So the only thing is that I'm going to have to pay them too. Do you get me now? So it's unfortunate, right? The platform where I pay as much as £76 every month has been disappointing us repeatedly. And that is exactly what StreamYard has done. I don't know what happened to platforms that usually start very small, and then they get bigger. They get bigger, like to host a lot and lots of platforms on their own platform, and then they become a problem. So Restream seems to be a nice place. I'm going to have to check them out, and I'm going to have to cancel the StreamYard. It's been very disappointing, unfortunately. Okay, so I will run it for just a few minutes and see what this seems like, and see what. Hang on, I should be able to read your comments, which is another stuff I'm still going to have to. And it is so hard, right? It is hard to change from what one has been using for a while. It can be very difficult. That's the reason why I've not really used some of these platforms, right? So, and I think this one works perfectly well. It does. So I'm so sorry that usually on Maiyegun's Diary Political, right? Every time we have a program like this, I have to put together all the videos, all the short clips that we're going to use intermittently during the broadcast. But this is like an impromptu one, which I think may take me, it may take me like a day to set up, including some of our inner clips that we usually use. It's sad. It's unfortunate. I pay a lot of money to StreamYard. I pay a lot of money to them. So, you know, for them to end up not, you know. Now look at this. It's supposed to be. Now there's so much settings that will need to be done. A lot of settings to change, and then a bit of it's just like upside down, kind of. Don't know. It's a shame. Yeah. Usually you have to pay them. You have to pay them money to get all the features that you need. Well, I think one good advantage of this is that it allows for anger. Yeah, no, so many of the features that I can really pick on, you know. So I am so sorry that we had our program truncated, unfortunately. Well, I don't think it has nothing to do with ACA or what have you. So they just sent me a message. They sent me a message that there could be, initially they said it was the network, that it could be network. And then, but it wasn't network. If I share my screen with you, you can see that I've got the fastest, the best internet here. Like I've got like a 1.0 gigabyte per second speed right there on the screen. Now, it's not easy for me to use. I think if I have to use some of their features, I just have to pay them. And I need to be very sure before I actually get to pay them. Let me show you my internet. Let's hope it shows you. Now, I think I can share my screen. Now, that's my internet. So can anybody say this is a poor internet speed? That's my internet speed. 1.0 gigabyte per second. That's like top speed, you know. And I can possibly, hang on, what's that? So I'm so sorry guys that this is normal thing I would do before coming to your screen, right? I'll usually do all of this. I don't have to do them while you are watching, but because I got truncated right now, the broadcast got stopped. We may end up having to use the Restream. And you know something about Restream is that it seems to have amazing features than even StreamYard. You get what I mean now? It's got amazing features than StreamYard. Well, I've been so used to StreamYard that I've got this a video console there that ordinarily it will take, I mean, you know, it's like years of work and all that, you know. So I'm gonna need to kind of like study again. I can usually have your comments. I'm trying to bring the comments up. Okay, I think I can see your comments. Or two. Meanwhile, when somebody said that I mean, this could be the handiwork of ACAS. I didn't tell a lot of us, or I didn't tell anyone that I have been under constant, you know, attacks, cyber attacks, and all that. My Twitter, I got kicked out of my Twitter. Can you believe that? My Twitter of 11 years. By January, it's going to be 12 years that I've had that Twitter account. So 2 weeks ago, no, it's not even up to 2 weeks. It's about, yeah, maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I got I got kicked out of my Twitter. I don't know what happened. Someone, somewhere, somehow, they changed my email address. They changed my phone number, which were supposed to be my real security on my Twitter. And since then, I've not been able to log in into my own Twitter anymore. And Twitter says my email address, my phone number, which has been the source of contacts, right? My main contact on my Twitter has been denied to be incorrect. It said it's not recognized. So I've had to kind of speak to someone behind the scene to see if there's something I need to do, invest in to protect, to protect this platform. I've been hacked twice. My YouTube account was hacked twice. I didn't tell you all. I was able to retrieve them back. To retrieve it back on the 2 occasions. So my 12-year-old Twitter account was also, I was kicked out of it up till now. And Twitter says I should go and open another one. I should just forget it, So yeah, I could possibly be under different attacks here and there. And it's ideal to possibly let people have a clue. So I don't know what they will do with my YouTube. If they take my YouTube account, what are they going to use it for? At least they are not going to come and be giving you the normal update, the regular updates on Maiyegun's Diary Political, So without much ado, right? Let's just gist a bit about what I intend to come and share with you tonight. Unfortunately, I can't put up all the clips on this. I can't put them on this restream. I wish I really could, right? But I can't right now. So I'm going to go and sit down and work. I'm going to go and sit down and work on canceling the StreamYard. I think I should cancel it. They're going to expect to take their 70. Can you believe that? £76. That's how much I pay them every month, right? £76 every month, just to get all the features that I want. And I think this restream is a bit cheaper than the StreamYard. The other day we were live and then you couldn't hear me. The audio was gone, and I did all I could, only for them to send message later and said, well, sorry, we heard that people are experiencing, like people are experiencing audio outputs. I was like, are you going to actually give me back part of the money that I pay every month when when I fail, or when you fail to give me all the service I paid for? Well, that's not it. They are making hundreds of millions of dollars every month. They are so rich. And this is a StreamYard that started during the lockdown. That's when they started, though. That lockdown, the COVID lockdown, where everybody was home and all that. That's when they started, though. Now they are like a multi-billion-dollar platform because, so many YouTube, Facebook, content creators signed up to them. When they started, StreamYard was like $18. Yeah, it was like $18 a month. Today, then I used to pay them £14 or £14 something every month. But now they increased it in the last 4 years. So they have increased their money for the features they've introduced to, from paying them £14.50 to £22 to £28 to £44, then to £76 every month. That's how much I pay them now. Just to make sure that I have this, streaming platform that's streamed everywhere. I have this restream as well, but it's just that I didn't like their features and all that back then, but I think I'm just going to stick to them right now. I couldn't get anything from them. You can't even reach them, except when they send an email and say, please don't leave. I've tried to leave 3 times. This will be the 4th time, and I'm actually leaving for good. When I said I was leaving, they were increasing my pay. They were increasing my monthly pay from you know, from 76 pounds, they were increasing me to 96 or so pounds. So I just canceled it. And they said, oh, we'll give you a certain percentage. So they gave me they made a discount, which kind of will keep me paying 76 pounds until June next year, so that I won't leave. But now I think I've had enough. I've had enough now. I have to leave. You know, the problem is that for Maiyegun's Diary Political, right? For my presentations, my chat with yous, and everything like we do every time, you know, it's like a library. You get it now. I've got this library collection of different clips. You know, those clips are always kind of inserted in the broadcast. They are like from long researches and saves and all that I've kept for so long, and they are like there. So I have to go and do something and retrieve them from StreamYard and begin to upload them. So I can switch, you know, for example, and say, I need to have Restream, I need to have a StreamYard. So if a StreamYard messes up, I'll just go to no, it doesn't work that way. You get what I mean now? So for me, it won't. I have to stick to one. I just have to keep faith with one. Or I'm just going to not be up to par. And you know, we have grown to appreciate Maiyegun's Diary Political as a platform that is not just talking, like a talking head, right? It is a platform that also brings evidence. So it's like we react to what has been said, or what is being said, or what people are doing. That's what we do on Maiyegun's Diary Political. You know what I mean? Yeah, I won't have issue retrieving some of the videos. I'm talking about if one platform, for example, let's say a StreamYard messes up today now. So for me to just say, let's go to Restream. So it's such a different ball game, you know, such a different ball game. But even if we can retrieve all of them, we need stability. Do you understand? So we need stability. Sorry, I'm putting this comment. I want to see if I can put that. Oh, okay. It won't let me. So I have to pay them. You know? So it's not going to be like Maiyegun is just talking. Like, you know, when I used to use my phone, then I could just talk for hours. But now, it's not just what Maiyegun says. It is what everybody hears. You know, it's what you heard from them, what Tinubu said, what this one said, what others are saying. You get what I mean now? Including events that happened. When something happens somewhere, right? I have to bring them to your screen. Then we react to that. So it's more than just, you know, me telling you, and then you are just seated there like, okay. Oh, I wish I could see that, Sha. You get that now. Well, I think with this second experience, we are not going into 2025 having this similar experience. Okay, we're not going to 2025 with that. So I have to do something. I have to give us a stability. Yeah, I have to give us stability. I have to give us something that, you know, we can't be turning up every night and be disappointed, you know. So glad that you can hear me very much and you are reacting. You get what I mean? You are reacting to what I'm saying, which simply means that this may be our destination. Okay, maybe our destination, and we can possibly make this work. Okay, and the moment I start paying them, we won't have all this, you know, this attaché on it anymore. We are going to actually have all of that cleaned out. I can do all of that with time, you know. So I think it also, this seems to be like they have more features, right? Than, well, you know something. Let me see if I can use this opportunity with without just lamenting to use, okay? Let me see if I can use this opportunity to tell you a bit about what I intend to share with us this evening until that StreamYard did their was, okay? So I'll pick my titles, okay? I'll pick my titles and give me a sec. So I'll pick the title and I will chat them with you. Now, okay, just give me a sec. So this currently allows me to stream to YouTube. Well, if I want to stream to other platforms, I will need to pay them, okay? Remember, it's an impromptu one. So, Tinubu's budget presentation, okay? As I was about to begin to dissect that, to break it down, okay? Unfortunately, we couldn't do that because I've got all these graphic pictures to share with you, all right? Including the reports that, over 600,000 people died in Nigeria in the last 1 year. Papa, man, that is like times 10 of the people that died under Bukwari. So what if Tinubu and his gang, what they have done is that they have done a great job in controlling the media beyond what all of us can imagine. 8 years of Bukwari, the total number of people that died in the hands of the Boko Haram, ISWAP, and all of these guys, Fulani terrorists, was 68,000. How could 614 people get killed by terrorists in 1 year? So let me see if I can just do like this for now to see. 1 second. Look at that. Let's see if you can see that. 614,937 Nigerians killed in 1 year. 2.2 million Nigerians abducted in 1 year. Baba, that's the National Bureau of Statistics. So then if you look at that map on the side, that one is showing us, it's kind of like showing to us where people paid ransom. Let me tell you. Baba, in 1 year, how did we miss that? How? Give me a second. How did we miss that? I understand that Tinubu and his gang, right? They control the media. I just never thought it's this much. And the most of these people killed. Hang on. Most of these people killed, right? Let me see if I can bring up in the areas. Yeah. Baba, we are all here, right? Talking about the poverty, the hunger. Baba, there is silent ethnic cleansing going on in Nigeria. And people are not even raising alarm. Like, we are talking about so many things, but we don't talk about all of this. Give me a sec. Let me see if I can. Said. In rural areas, which is like the villages, those villages and communities that you hear that they are ransacking them and they are chasing them out of their communities and all that, right? They said 335,827 people, including women and children, were killed in 1 year. 1 year of Tinubu, 1 year. In urban areas where you can say, okay, this one is like, semi-rural areas, all right? 279,110 people slaughtered. Murder rate too. Do you know the highest zone? the zone with the highest number of killings. Oh my God, 206,030 people were killed in northwest of Nigeria. In the northeast, right, 188,992 people slaughtered. In southwest Yoruba land, 15,693 people killed. Now to other zones. When it comes to, hang on, yeah, this was like the murdered. Now, when it comes to the zones, you see, we are all talking about the insecurity in Eastern Nigeria. Insecurity, Eastern Nigeria still rank as the safest place in Nigeria. When it comes to the ranking of the people killed by different terrorist groups operating in Nigeria, they slaughtered over 15,000 people in Yoruba land in 1 year, and it did not make it to the media. But this is like a published paper in Nigeria, and the statistic is said to be from the NBS, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, a National Bureau of Statistics, whatever you want to call them. Then when it comes to ransom, people kidnapped. They said over 2.23 million Nigerians were kidnapped for ransom in 1 year. This is especially in this 2024. Right? Now, 1.42 million, that's 1,420,000 of them, they were kidnapped in northwest of Nigeria. Right? And do you know the secondary region where people were mostly kidnapped? South, Niger Delta region. How come this whole thing didn't make the news? Tinubu said, and the work. They have threatened the media, controlled the media, controlled the news. No wonder social media is their main headache. This information like this shouldn't be making it out there. But yeah, social media is the place where it gets escalated. So when you now tell people back in Nigeria who are listening to their main media, they will be like, hey, what are you talking about? It's not true. It's not true. We don't hear anything like that. There's nothing like that here. Do you get that? 110,432 North Central is actually second. Sorry, South is third. North Central, they said 317,837 people were kidnapped in 1 year in that place. And do you know how much money the terrorists made in 2024? 2.2 trillion naira. That's how much people paid in ransom to terrorists in 2024 under Tinubu. The Nigerian army that they're telling us that they are. And you know, Nigeria is a place where if it hasn't happened to you, maybe it is not happening. Or maybe it's not true. Do you get that? Now, there is, I'm scraping them out because these were supposed to be on your screen as usual. Unfortunately, right? StreamYard messed up. So, now if you begin to look at the regional breakdown, okay, of how people paid ransom to kidnappers, right? Northwest. When you're talking about Northwest, you're talking about this Sokoto axis, yeah? The total of 2,238 billion naira was paid as ransom to terrorists, kidnappers in 2024 by their victims. And most of the victims, they did not make it out. Do you get that? And that is why you have this massive number of people killed. Most of the people their family even paid ransom for, they didn't make it back. They killed them. Communities where the terrorists have been, they have been ransacking and all of that. Oh my God. So Northwest, out of 2.23 trillion naira paid to terrorists, kidnappers in Nigeria, Northwest, give me a sec. I need to begin to use something so that you can understand this in context. Okay, not just saying it's Northwest, Northeast, North Central, something like that. Okay, Nigeria geopolitical zones. By, let's see if I can bring that up so that we can have this in. Let me see if I can bring a list up so that when I say Northeast, Northwest, you can all understand what does that mean. Okay, so now the northwest of Nigeria contains 7 states. Okay, so the northwest states are 1, Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, Jigawa, Sokoto, and Zamfara. Do you get that now? So people kidnapped from that place in 2024 was put at Angono, Northwest was put at 200. Oh, sorry, now that's the death. Okay, that's the death figure. Murdered, 2.2 trillion for ransom. So, give me a sec. Okay. So they didn't give us the exact number of the people kidnapped by regions. They just gave us the number of people killed. So in this northwest states, that includes Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, Jigawa, Sokoto, and Zamfara, right? The terrorists killed 206,030 people in 1 year, okay? And from that same northwest west zone, out of the total of 2.23 trillion naira ransom paid for those kidnapped, right? That northwest alone paid 1,428 billion. Okay, that's a 1.428 trillion naira. That's how much they pay in these states, 7 states. Now you see the north. Hang on, yeah, 1.4. Now the northeast of Nigeria, they are just 6 states, and they are Bauchi, Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Taraba, and Gombe. 6 states. So they paid 166.14 billion naira in ransom to kidnappers, right? Then when you come to North Central, see, North Central also comprises of 6 states, I think plus Abuja, FCT, all right? So the 6 states are Niger, Nasarawa, Kogi, Kwara, Plateau, and Benue states. 6 states, then plus Abuja, making it 7. So they paid a total of 469.74 billion naira in 1 year as ransom money to kidnappers, Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram. If Boko Haram even kidnap you, see, I can assure you that, you see this money, 90% of the money of this ransom is paid, or 80% of this ransom is paid to Fulani terrorists. Because Boko Haram no dey collect ransom. If Boko Haram capture you, na death, or they will sell you as slave. Fulani terrorists will kidnap you, collect the ransom money. You see them on TikTok. They're on TikTok. Now listen, Southwest Nigeria, Yoruba land. Now Southwest includes, the Southwest is, comprises of 6 states as well. And they are Lagos State, Ogun State, Osun State, Ondo State, Oyo State, and Ekiti State. 6 states for Southwest. These Fulani terrorists and other kidnappers in Yoruba land, they made 248.78 billion naira in 1 year under Tinubu. Then let's go to the place they call the South, the Niger Delta region. Niger Delta region, Baba. Guess how much those ones paid for ransom? Chai. 469 billion and 740 million naira. Baba, 469.74 billion naira was paid as ransom in Niger Delta region. What are the South-South geopolitical zone? They comprises of Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta, Cross River, Rivers, and Edo State. Papa, Fulani terrorists in Edo State, they are on another level, no joke. Edo, the same Edo State, Papa. The Fulani terrorists in that place and other terrorists too. And the last but not the least, this one too, go shock you. Southeast Nigeria, where people have been kidnapped for ransom as well. They have coughed out a total of 461 billion and 741 million naira ransom paid in the southeast of Nigeria. The way they broke it down, Sha, is a total of 2.23 trillion naira. So the number one is northwest of Nigeria. That's where more ransoms were paid in 2024. The second on the list is the South-South Niger Delta of Nigeria. How come we didn't know this? How did they manage to bury this? The third is southeast of Nigeria. That's where people also coughed out more ransom money. 461 billion naira. Then the fourth is northwest, north central, south-south, southeast, and then southwest. Last on the list is northeast, Borno axis. Ransom money. You remember when I said that they turned, what do you call it? They turned insecurity in Nigeria, terrorism business in Nigeria to an industry. Like they normalized terrorism, they normalized all these things. Oh. How did we not, how did we miss all of that? What exactly happened this year that took our attention away from all of this? How did they manage to suppress this news or this information from the media that we never actually really, I mean, we used to cover, I used to see a lot of reports on all these kidnappings, all these, attacks. I used to see them. Did I stop looking? Because, I usually complain that Nigerians are not really bothered anymore. If you tell them that, if you see the news that says, oh, the terrorists attacked so and so, they have kidnapped so and so from Kogi, or they have attacked so and killed so number of people in Benue, or they've killed so number of people in Sokoto, people tend not to be moved anymore. It's like people have become so cold, indifference about it, except if it happens to them. On Maiyegun's Diary Politico, you will see some of my callers, they will call in and say, Maiyegun, they kidnapped my family member last year, like casually. They'll just say it like, Maiyegun, if you know what happened to my family this year, I still have this brother, E8. You usually should see him in the comment section on YouTube. E8. He usually come on, he was telling me that, man, Maiyegun, you've not heard from me in a while. It's because, man, they kidnapped my family members in the eastern part of Nigeria. I mean, people have become so like, oh, Maiyegun, give us another news, Jare. Tell us what, I mean, it's like people are not really bothered. While all these things, people have become so used to it. So if it hasn't happened to, if it's not happening to me, right? Maybe it is not happening. How did Tinubu manage? Baba, it's not only the economy, Baba, they are cleansing and killing everybody slowly until they'll get to my village or to your village. Because that's the way I see it now. Over 600,000 people killed in 1 year. Bokwari that we call the devil. Under him, that the Fulani terrorists were running amok. Basek. That's the word I'm looking for. Medek gear 3. I don't know if I pronounce that right. That's the word. People have become desensitized. It's not that they are insensitive, or they've become desensitized. Like, it's old news. Some will tell you that it's old news. If you tell them that, do you know what happened in Sokoto yesterday? And they killed about 17 people. They kidnapped about 80 people. Say, oh, about that one, old news. I saw that. I saw this today. And I mean, I won't lie to you. My body shook like, more. In 8 years of Bokwari, the number they put out there, which some people said that you have to multiply that by 2. But how many can we multiply this by now? Over 600,000. And you probably will never hear it from Tinubu. To them, it didn't happen. Because a lot of people are just interested in what they are going to eat. We are hungry. We are hungry. The economy is in shambles. The people that the other day we saw the news of how they killed over 200 farmers in the same Borno state, and people just felt like, well, that's old news. Under Bokwari, it wasn't this bad though. Southwest Nigeria, over 15,000 people slaughtered by terrorists. 15,000. And there is no outcry. There's no outburst anywhere. How did they do it? How? Because that's what I've been asking myself. Like, how did they do it? Like, some people will be like, some people will say, but what about their families? These people that are being killed no get family. Most of these people that are being killed, they are not urban people. They are local people. They are in their rural areas. Some of the areas where the news will never even get to town. It's only, man. That's part of what I wanted to come and share with us this evening before our StreamYard messed us up. You know, like it is really, really shocking. It's not just shocking, it is actually sad. Women, children, villagers. And they have nobody to even probably listen to them. You and I are reacting to this and like, oh my God, how is that? How did that happen? How can that happen? We are reacting. Or in the true sense of it, right? There are those who are actually doing everything to bury it. People are being killed. And guess what? Some of this whole thing, right? When you pay attention very well to the communities where these killings are taking place, right? When you pay attention, there are communities with different mineral resources, different resources that, because sometimes you have to wonder, like, why are they killing them? Who are those killing them? What exactly is their gain killing these harmless people, killing these vulnerable people? But it's called ethnic cleansing. They kill them, and those others who escaped, right? They will run straight to IDP camp. They will never return. And then they will begin the exploration of different mineral resources in their communities. This was done. I won't lie to you, right? They actually break it down, you know. And 2.1% of kidnappings were linked to personal or family disputes. That's part of their report too. They said 0.5% of kidnapping were linked to custody dispute cases. Another one, they said 91% of kidnapping incidents were done for ransom. 91% is done for ransom. 2.4% of kidnapping incidents were done for political, criminal, or terrorist objectives. The rates based on household killings, right? Said that 33% of household, sorry, I've got this, like it wasn't that clear. But they actually broke them down to say, man, for example, they say 82.1% of kidnapped individuals were released. 12.8% of kidnapped individuals were killed. 3.3% were still in captivity. 1.3% did not know the outcome of the incident. So in their number, I think they've given us a figure now. So 2.23 million Nigerians were kidnapped in 1 year. 2.2, that's a 2,233,000 Nigerians were kidnapped. So in rural areas, right, they kidnapped 1,668,104 people. In urban areas like Abuja, in the city center like that, right? So they kidnapped 567,850 people in 1 year. And that's when they broke it down to say the highest region with the highest number of kidnapped people They are the Northwest Zone. And the Northwest Zone are the ones I listed earlier. Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Sokoto. What is that again? Yeah, the Northwest region. They are the Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, Jigawa, Sokoto, and then Zamfara. Okay, so 1,428,000 people. So Northwest alone takes like, they take like about 70% of the number of people kidnapped in 1 year in Nigeria. How did they not make that public? How did we miss all of that? That's the question I keep asking myself, honestly. So the money paid, like they say, right? They say 82% of the people kidnapped. Okay, 82.1%. They were released after ransom was paid, right? 12.8% were killed. So you can do the math. What is the 12% of 2 million? 10% of 2 million is 200,000, Abby. So 2.23 million people. If you use 10%, 10% and 2%, that's going to be like, that means the kidnappers killed, those who are like kidnapped victims, also they killed over 200 and maybe 250,000 people that were kidnapped were never released alive, right? Then it says 3.3% of them, they are still in custody. That means tens of thousands of people right now are still in custody of their kidnappers, and they're likely never going to make it back. So 1.3% or so, according to this stats, right? People don't even know what happened to them, whether they are released or they are killed or whatever. Nobody knows. And Nigeria, somebody will tell you that you want to cause a war in Nigeria, Baba, even where they are fighting war, I don't think it is this bad. Is it not even better that Nigeria to be like fighting war so that you can know that, okay, now war, now because of war, they are kidnapping people, and because of war, they are killing people. But it's pretty much like Nigeria is at war. And the likes of Tinubu and others, right? They are just like a robbing. It's like, you rub my back, I rub your back. You rub my belly, I rub your belly. All right? And they keep giving themselves medals. Medals as like, we are working hard. We are doing everything. Nigeria is recovering. But what is recovery in all of this? In 1 year, if you have over 600,000 people killed, and from this data now, we can say half of them killed by the terrorists that kidnapped them. Oh, and data not a lie. Even though people believe that these are just the ones that probably reported. What about the ones that are not reported? What about the people that died when those terrorists invaded those communities? Thousands of communities have been taken over by terrorists in Nigeria. Nigeria have places called ungoverned areas. Ungoverned areas are areas where governments know they go there anymore. So another thing which I was going to share with us, before StreamYard acted crazy, right? So let me pick up that again. Okay. Yeah, usually you will need this, and you will need a video clip to sort of back it up, right? Well, I do not have the video. There's so many people that are going to, it's happening already. But there's going to be a lot of Nigerians who are going to die young, and others are going to die from renal failure or kidney failure because of what they are consuming. Do you know that? Normally, right? We believe that if you are a smoker, right, you stand the chance of, dying young. Or if you are a smoker who also have no access to proper health care, and you can imagine what it is going to be your fate, right? Well, there is more. There are many people who are not, they don't smoke, they don't really however, they love to possibly join in one celebration or the other, and we are all likely going to be involved in one celebration or the other in our lifetime. And this is where you put your kidneys and all that, at risk. The level at which the fake alcohol drink is being produced in Nigeria, and the level at which people are also drinking in that place. I saw a video of NAFDAC, right, destroying the destroying these fake drink manufacturers somewhere in Aba. And again, my body was like, oh my God, like all of these branded drinks that a lot of people love to use in showing their "I don't arrive" kind of a thing, right? So you see them all manufactured. And when you see what they are actually mixing for people, and then rolling it out for people to consume, and if you know the amount, you see, people will tell you, people will confirm to you already that, you see, the number of, as poor as Nigeria seems to be, or as poor as Nigerians are, or the government has made Nigerians, okay, but even though for the first time, the Nigerian Bureau is declared, declared loss for the first time in years. And they usually don't declare losses, all right? But they did this past. People still party, you still go everywhere. People are buying. They are paying a premium for adulterated drinks, fake drinks. And you know what fake drink does is that it hits you slowly. So to those who don't drink, some of you will be like, thank God, though, I don't go good a drink. But do you know what this does to people is that it is not just about you not drinking. The ruin and the damage, or the damages this does to families, can best be imagined. There are some of us who have lost our loved ones to terminal ailments. People who are like healthy, they are all right, and suddenly they have heart problems, they have kidney problems. And you're just like, where did that come from? Nigeria is a place where it's like the world is rigged against you, kind of. There's always something there to kill you, like you are exposed to. And I think I told somebody, or I usually say to people, that Nigeria is a place whereby even your money can't save you from the rot that the system has created for so long. There's this rot that even your money can save you. You will see young people, they are dropping dead. Strong, they are okay, they are healthy, and suddenly something just happened, right? And boom, they've lost their health. You'll be like, see, Jacob, God bless you. There's been, I mean, we have some of our friends who are pretty much still young, right? And because of what they are consuming, what they have consumed, just be, sometimes it may just be just a glass of wine, harmless wine. You remember when they usually tell us then that when, we were, when I was growing up, I mean, they used to say to me then that, or we used to hear that if you are drinking red wine, it's really good for your heart, it's good for your kidneys, you know, it's blah, 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 blah. And then a lot of people would just be like, well, instead of me drinking hot drink, I'll just drink wine, you know. But imagine having to consume something that is so dangerous and looks so harmless in large quantity, and then a massive number of people consuming them. I was going to share the video with us. Unfortunately, this happened, right? Fake drinks in clubs where people are doing dorime. They are doing dorime. See? You begin to see young people, 25, 30, 35, 40. They'll just tell you that so person is dead. They'll be like, what? How? What happened? This guy doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. He's been consuming things that are beyond people who smoke and drink now. So imagine. So when I saw that, I was like, Omo, sometimes we should possibly support the death sentence, you know, for these people who are traders in fake drinks, fake juice, fake drugs, fake, fake this and fake that. The system should actually make examples of them. Families have lost loved ones to all of this. Families. And it breaks hearts. If you think about it, it breaks hearts when you realize that this is a preventable thing. But the rotting the system has made it so, it is so much that we are just like exposed to whatever it is that could kill us anytime. You know, there is no, we can give it to we can give it to NAFDAC that they are doing their bits and all that, but doing your best or doing your bit in this circumstance is not even like it's not a commendation. We are talking about things that actually affect people's lives. Stuff that breaks families. People have lost loved ones, breadwinners, to preventable death because of what they consume, what they put in their mouth. Imagine somebody who has some very terrible terminal ailment, and they could buy themselves extra extra years, if they use their medication. In this country, I'll give you an example. You see, my partner, Abike, when I met her 11 years ago, right? And then she told me her story of how she broke her ankle. Yeah, she broke her ankle. Okay. And she had a blood clot to her lungs, blood clot to her vein and here and there, that she could have died. But she was saved. And since then, she had to use blood thinning medication. Her blood is no longer like you and me blood. So she has to use medication to make sure that her blood is thinner so that it can flow properly. Because any small clogging in the vein where the blood passes. All of us now, you see me and you, we pretend to, we are lucky for those of us who don't have to use any medication and all of that, right? So we are lucky, right? So she had to use medication to keep her blood freer, like maybe some of us, okay? So when she got pregnant, she, to protect the baby inside her, they had to make another recommendation that, you know what, she would have to start injecting herself this blood clot medication, okay? She will have to inject herself, and we'll have to watch her every day. She will have to like squeeze part of her belly like that, squeeze it out and inject it so that that can protect the pregnancy, the baby, and her life depended on it. So imagine if when she is to go and get her medication, she was given fake medication, given fake this and fake that. So just imagine that for a sec. Yeah, good to know. I don't even know the name. See how bad that. I don't even know the name. She's got the tablet, she's got the injection and all that. Right? Well, we have nurses here who probably know what I'm talking about. We do. Nelly Grace. Thank you. Even though what you just mentioned, maybe one of them, right? But it doesn't sound like the one I probably know here. See, people who are nurses will understand this, right? Say, warfarin injection, heparin shot. The two you mentioned right now, I've never heard of them. But if you mention the one I know she's using, I will probably clock it. So say, yes, that one. So imagine if she receives supplies and they are fake. And she keeps injecting maybe water or fake thing into her system. She will be dead, long dead now. She broke her ankle when she was just about 15. She's 32 now. And she's going to be on that medication for the rest of her life. Now that means with proper regulated medical supply, medical supply, she has been given extra 17 years. And she has a chance of living for another maybe 30, 40 years or even more. All she needs is to make sure that she's using her medication regularly. And whenever she misses the medication for like maybe a few days, because she's that lazy sometimes that she will forget, she'll begin to feel pains in her legs, right? She'll begin to feel pains, like all these mild pains, and she will know that, I've not used my medication in this. In this, are you being serious? At the moment she takes a tablet in the morning and at night, she's fine. Or just to make sure that she's having a better blood flow. Her life depends on it. There are people in Nigeria with different serious medical conditions. And many of them are dying, painful death, or from consuming fake drugs. So when people produce fake stuff like that, you can call them murderers. They are killers. There's no point. Yeah? I think it is that one. Producer. I think it's that one. That sounds like something I have heard her say. Right? There are people in Nigeria who are treating diabetes, who are diabetic. And diabetes is incurable, so you just have to manage it by injecting your insulin and all of that to keep yourself, right? So imagine people who produces fake products. They are murderers, they are killers. Similarly, those who are producing fake drinks that will destroy your kidney, destroy your heart, or destroy your internal organs, they are murderers. That's not business. You can't say somebody's business. That's not business. Unfortunately, the system you have is not going to have them sent to life imprisonment or sent to, death sentence and all of that, death sentence. No, rather they will bribe their way around it. The judiciary and the rest, they will release them and they will rename themselves, like repackage themselves to go back and begin to do the same thing. But people are dying. There are people in Nigeria who are suffering from hypertension. If they are not using, see, imagine some people I've had someone who told me that they had to rely on their medication being sent to them from abroad. Because every time, sometimes when they buy this medication, or if they mistakenly, for example, their normal chemist or their normal dispensary where they usually go to buy the original, if they are run out of stuff, if they are out of stock, and they decide to just go and buy it somewhere else, right? Some of them will say, man, I nearly die. I nearly died yesterday. And I don't know why. My so and so just, it just spiked up. Say, well, what about you? You are using your medication. I say, well, I'm using it too. I don't know what happened.
We are at here again.
Let's see if I can share. See all this fake stuff. See them. They are fake. It's a soft drink. Oh. These are not even like alcohol drink. Oh. Soft drink. Fizzy juice. See? Fizzy juice. They are fizzy juice. This is not alcohol. They are fizzy juice. They are like your, what do you call it? Or they are branding them. Yeah. They are branding them and they are looking like original. And they are supplying them to the market. When when you're already drunk. When you're already drunk in club, and they say, they supply us another, what do you call it, Jack Daniels. Yeah, bring another Jack Daniel. You're not drinking Jack Daniel. Okay, that one is for those who are drinking alcohol. What about people who just want to drink fizzy juice? And whatever it is that you consume that goes straight into your mouth, that's what they say about our health. They say it is what we eat that actually kills us. So whatever you put in your mouth and will determine your state of health. Now imagine having to consume what is pretty much a fake. Could be like, say, person just a drink. You are drinking something to just like buy yourself by yourself. That's how dangerous Nigeria is. This won't travel to Nigeria. Bad story. This Egbon has been in London. I mean, he's been in the UK for 18 years. And the reason why he didn't go to Nigeria was because of his papers. And finally, about 4 or 5 years ago, all the total number is 18. No, sure you get me now. So 5 years ago, he started going to Nigeria. So which means he's been in this country for 23 years when he died this year. Okay. So this Egbon is an Egbon to somebody who is closer to me. So this is why I get to know the story. I'm normal man. I've never felt bad that somebody died the day they told me that Egbon died, right? I'm just like, man, this life is vanity, man. This life is pretty much like, I've known that too for a while, sure you get, but once in a while, right? I still feel like the life is always worth living. You understand? Like it is still worth living. Whatever it is, we should try to live. We are all going to die, of course. But before we die, no, we live first. Let's live first. So this is a bomb. Went to Nigeria early this year. No, even was it early? It was around April this year. And he came back to the UK that same April. Then somebody went back again in May. And then they said he had malaria. Malaria. What kind of malaria is that? So they took him. I won't do that because life sometimes is a teacher. The more you live, the more you learn new. Right? So he had this cold, shivering. And then they took him to a chemist. They treated him for malaria. Malaria, how can you come from the UK now and have malaria? How? Because normally there's this injection that they give to you if you are going to Africa. It's to prevent you from this mosquito bite. Because it's really, really, really dangerous. I don't even know how some of us survived that long. Have you ever thought of that? Like, man, with what you now know, if you are living abroad, with all you now know about healthcare and all of that stuff, right? Have you ever asked yourself and be like, oh, how did I even survive for all these years that I was in Nigeria? Drinking agbo, drinking everything, but we still survived. Gongi body. You know what I mean? Then our body, our system are sort of acclimatized wherever we move to. Now you no longer get bitten by mosquitoes and all of that. Because if you are in Nigeria and you are being bitten by mosquitoes, all this bite and all of that, at first it's going to shake you. Then eventually, I think your immune system will begin to have the resistance to it, so it won't really be stronger anymore, right? I'm just saying, like, I think, I've had malaria many times that I thought I was going to die when I was in Nigeria, and mosquito bite and all of that is not a biggie for me, except if I probably eat something bad, then my whole system will be broken. Anyway, I barely fall sick when I was in Nigeria, but it meant once I fell sick or something, it was going to be like I was going to die. Here you get. Anyway, this one went back to this Nigeria twice. The second occasion, they said they were treating him for malaria. Malaria, power. So they took him to a chemist, and the chemist was like, okay, take this, and they treated him for malaria. And seems everything was fine until midnight that same day. The same day he complained of, I think I'm feeling cold, So then he was probably like, from what I heard, though, he was planning to come back to the UK, cut short his trip, and return to the UK and come and treat himself the following day. So in the middle of the night, the day they treated him for malaria, gave him this tablet and that used it, he started shivering. And the shivering was so much, so much, that they had to rush him down to the hospital, the private hospital. Malaria, shivering. A few hours later, the guy is dead. Dead. Just like that. Just like that. And you know, it's a place that people are very very, very superstitious as well. So it won't take them time to begin to say, "Walk me waleni." You know, they use jazz to drag him, come back to Nigeria to kill him. It didn't take time. It was this my own friend that was like, "No, stop all this nonsense, Jerry. His immune system couldn't take whatever it is that is consumed. And that's it. His immune system collapsed or something, and you know, or Baba cool straight, like just cool like that, die. You know, nobody has a clue of what he consumed, and I don't think they were pretty much interested in even doing any autopsy or so. Where they could straight. So one of my own conclusion was that they probably misdiagnosed him. You know, that's another problem in that place. I don't know me. I don't know what is wrong. I'm just feeling this. I don't know, like what this body pain is. But malaria, you better the dog. You know, that's our way in Nigeria too. We even see somebody say, this one is not so. Before they carry out any test, they already have an idea what could be your problem. They say, now malaria, but that thing be, they can even take your urine and all of that, go and do test about malaria and come back and say, oh, there's nothing. When here, they will probably take your blood sample, take a lot of things and begin to look into a lot of things. They can even be looking at your renal failure. Can be like checking to see if your kidney is functioning well and all of that stuff. But Nigeria, they go see they won't do test. Most of their tests is about malaria. It's about, you know, all this. And then they can misdiagnose you and begin to treat you for something that is not the problem too. I was having stomach ache, which I never had. Like, I've never felt such pain in my life. If I had stomach upset, it is either because of what I just ate, or maybe I've overheard, or I've overheard something. Then the moment I'm able to go to the toilet, all of that will just, all of that will just like subsided, and I'll be fine. So I was having this stomach pain, and it was like a very serious pain right there at center of my abdomen. So I was holding it as a typical Niger person. You get like you go soon go. So Friday, that I started and I observed, I was like, I'm beginning to feel like okay, maybe it will go. Then Saturday I couldn't sleep. Like the pain was waking me up. Pain of and then you have to kind of change direction of how you sleep. Maybe I should sleep like this. Maybe I should turn this way. But I couldn't call my GP, and I didn't want to call the emergency 999 because I was like, what would I tell them? That I'm having stomach upset. So I waited till Monday. So that's like 3 days after. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then Monday. 3 days after, I called to go and see my GP. So when I got to the GP, the moment I started describing the pain, I think in his head, he was like already thinking about, this one will be appendicitis. And I wasn't thinking it. But you know what? My own advocate was already thinking that. I was like, no, appendicitis, bow. If it be appendix, so what do you mean? I know. So she put it in my head. So when this doctor now said, okay, come and lie down here. So I lay down on that bed, bed in their room, right? And press here, press there. Did some check. And then it was like, we need to carry out more examination. So I'm going to send you to the hospital. I was like, for what? He said, just to be sure, okay, that if they find nothing, then they will recommend some medication for you that you are going to use. You get that now? And I was like, okay. When is that going to be said? Right now. What? Like now? Say, yeah, right now. Ah, okay. You know what? Let me just tell Agbeke, I'm going to the hospital, and I don't like hospitals. I don't. And I don't think anybody like hospital. Baba, they collect like 1,500 pounds from me, NHS or charge for my residency. Every time I'm doing my residency renewal back then, right? 1,500 pounds, that's a lot. And I've never used the hospital. Agbeke is Scottish, so she's entitled to enjoy this thing, but I've never felt sick or felt ill. So I never wanted to go to the hospital, but yeah, I was like, okay. When I remember the pain, I said, okay, I'm going to go. But I got there. Yeah, NHS, our NHS, which is, people who are like, who have lived in this country for so long, have been so used to a system that works that they can tell you that NHS is messed up now. You have to wait for hours to get seen and all of that. But me, I am from Nigeria. This is a luxury. I won't lie to you. Even though I have been here for a while too, but I am never going to sound entitled. So I sat there for maybe like 2 hours. Then they called me. The first thing they did, those ones who are supposed to check why I'm having stomach ache, first thing they do was to start taking my blood. They took the first one, and I don't like it. They need to do and all of that on me, right? So they took the first one, they took the second blood in this their small tub. Said, go and sit down again. So I was there for like 3 hours. Then they called me to go and do MRI scan. MRI. Or to me, I'm using my money. At least let me use my money. You've been collecting this money and I've never really used it, so let me use my money. I didn't know it was actually a serious thing. I didn't. I felt safe. I felt like I'm in the right place, and eventually I'm going to know what's wrong with me. So they did the MRI, scan my head and all of that to check my brain, everything. Then they said, you are not going home. We have to give you bed. Give me bed. What are you saying? Like, you are supposed to kind of give me something. Say for Nigeria, if something is doing you, say, I'm clean. Give him Amasaclin, Amopaclin, Amopaclos. They shall say, oh yeah, that one, you use 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening, after food, you know what I mean? Like, you say, okay, thank you, sir. And they will give you a penicillin capsule, give him kiniko. I was expecting that anyway, so that you will go and treat whatever it is inside me. Then these guys walked into, they gave me a room, which was like, to me, it was a fancy room. So, yeah, in a fancy bed. I was there, pressing phone. All of this, I was already with them for like about 5 hours. And then the next thing, they said, then these guys walked in. This is my own experience now. When we're trying to have a chat around this issue of medical care, health care, which is something that we don't have in Nigeria. And listen, even with your money, the best doctors are from Nigeria, no joke. But you are the doctor, a doctor is as good as his tool. The tool that you have access to is what will make you a best this or a best that. It is not how best you think you are. When you lack the required tool to do your job, okay, you will never, ever be able to do things optimally. That's the point here. So this Egbon that went to Nigeria to die in Nigeria, it have been misdiagnosed. They may be treating him for malaria and it might be something more serious. But they had no tool or whatever it is to check him. So with your money, even in Nigeria, you are not safe. It's only few places that, you can see if I go to this one, or they will figure it out and all of that. And most of these places, right, there are some of us that can never get to them because we don't have the resources to kind of like access those healthcare. So here, I mean, I'm a resident, so I have the right to have access to them. They have the chance to, at least even if I'm going to die, but I will have a fighting chance. Do you understand? That's the difference. I will have a fighting chance. That there's a chance that they will try to want to save me first, which is what I had. So these guys walked in, different guys, like including psychologists. Oh, girl. This is a doctor, so and so. He's a psychologist. This is a Dr. Maureen. He's an ophthalmologist. This one. They just started giving me all their names, right? And they all have the reports of my blood sample, of my urine sample, as well as my MRI scan. They have all the reports. That's what brought all of them in. They have about 6, including supporting staff that followed them. So they are talking to me one after the other. So it was the first person that spoke, that was introducing them, was the doctor that was going to operate me. And he said, we have found from our findings, in order to be sure, that's why we did this test and that test and all that for you. And we are now very sure that you have appendicitis. Okay, that sounds like a very serious thing. I said, that sounds serious. I said, yes. And we are going to carry out an immediate surgery. Immediate. Nobody I will come back later to immediate surgery. But we need to let you. The chat spoke, this kind of like made me realize that the surgery is safe, and it is a real occasion for it to go bad. So, but they just still need to let me know. That's why they brought this psychologist to come and talk to me about what I'm about to do. But they were describing what they are going to do to me. How they are going to give me an analgesic. Because what they call that thing, will make you just pass out. You will just be gone. You wouldn't even know what they are doing to you. Like that. They explained everything. We are going to the amount of analgesic the color where they will give me. They told me. I can't remember, but the shah were saying all of it there to make me understand and all of that. And the surgery is expected to take place 10 p.m. tonight. Kia God to me say yes. And it is going to last for 45 minutes. That's most an hour. And then by the time we'll do all the dressing, so the whole thing is going to take us anesthesia, analgesic. Which one be analgesic again? Anesthesia. Anyway, thank you. The African Wahala. So the Shah told me all of that. I said, okay. Do I need to write my will? He said, no. So sorry, but you will need to sign a consent form that you agree that we should go ahead. And if anything goes wrong, we are not going to be responsible or held responsible. I was like, well, you told me that it was an easy surgery. Yeah. But it is just, what do they call it? A process. I was like, okay, I'll sign it. So, and I waited there for another 5 or 6 hours until they said it is time. We need to, so they have to take me to surgery. And Baba, it be like all of us stay for queue. Surgery here be like you are in the queue position 20. You are now in queue position 18. They move people inside, remove them, move them in, remove them. Surgery is like they have like about 8 surgeries on that floor, at least. each room. They just, as they're moving people in, move them out, move them in, move them out. So when it was my turn, they said, we'll be taking you in to surgery 8 in the next 10 minutes. I said, okay. And then they moved me into the surgery. I didn't know anything again until I woke up around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Yeah, that was how. And then I just realized that, Baba, I carry leg, kilo day. When I opened my eyes like that, it was like somebody would just like, I don't know, like it's been like I've been sleeping for days. Honestly, I've been like no dream, no nothing. But yeah, they've cut me open like this dot, They've cut me open, like you can see. Here, 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 and then one there. 4 places. It'd be like they put needle, like I don't even know, like it was so tiny, so tiny. Even if you see my scar is so tiny, right? See that? You could barely see it. So it's so tiny. And then they said I also had hernia. Baba, my entire from this place down was like Baba pain. So they had to give me some painkillers. And now for this country, I also know that there's level of medicine they will give to you. For example, painkillers, right? That if they give you one, they'll say this one is at 200 grams. If it's not working well, right? They'll say increase it to 500 grams. So they would carry out some tests again and be like, you know what? So that they don't want you to even become addicted to using all these painkillers. Because it's easier, according to this, it's so easy for you to become a drug addict simply because you are going through, you're having these heart pains from anything at all, that you can become addicted and become a drug addict. Yeah, you become junkie that is now addicted to different drugs. So they have this measurement as well that they also give. And this whole thing, right, will keep making me ask myself that how did I survive in Nigeria for 28 years of my life before I moved to this country? How? The only answer I can give is just to say, as everybody used to say, grace of God, because that's the only explanation. I don't know how we survived. Today, whatever it is that we survived back then in Nigeria before we left the place to this part of the world, we can't survive it anymore when we go back to that place. Not now that we are more exposed to a more failed system. Papa, Nigeria wasn't really great, but Papa, it wasn't this war, so. Honestly, it wasn't. But now people are at the risk of just anything and everything. Hey, in 2024, people they are falling sick of waterborne diseases. 2024, waterborne diseases. Omi, water. They talk say omi water. But right now, water don't get enemy. You know? And you have a place. So the reason why I'm sharing that with you is just that a system works if those in charge want it to work. Because at the end of the day, a working system is to everybody's advantage, including the supposed ruling class. It is to everybody's advantage. If you pay the doctors, if you equip the hospitals, if you fix the road, if you fix the electricity, it is to everybody's advantage. When you go to all these NHS hospitals in this country, right, you are going to see Nigerian doctors, best guys, nurses, midwives, from Nigeria, trained in Nigeria. They are one of the best in the world. Everywhere you meet them, everywhere you meet them. Because majority of them trained under ill-equipped system. And yet they became the best in their fields, right? That when they are now exposed to this advanced technology, equipment, and environment like this, and a good pay, but they want to offer, everybody want to overwork self. Everyone want to overwork and work well. So why can't we have that in that place? So if you are living abroad and you do not understand the reasons why somebody like Maiyegun will never sugarcoat the rot in Nigeria, it's because you are not paying attention. Your money cannot buy you safety in Nigeria. Your money can't buy you, and you can be a victim of that rot. You can be misdiagnosed, and it may be too late for you to go back to where you come from when the shit hit the fan. And that's it, another casualty. Just another casualty of a failed system. That's it. All the years of hard work, sleepless nights, cold weather, all the years that you have silently, quietly cried in your room, regretting why you come to this country. Do you know some of us have had that moment? Yeah, a lot of us have had that moment where you just sit down in your room and be like, what did I come to do in this country, honestly speaking? So tired, I do. You never see that one. You wake up in the morning and you're like, you have to go to work. You have to go to work. You don't feel like going anywhere, but they're not born you where you have to. And you feel like, we've had that moment. I've had mine. You know that time you say if rain they beat you, you feel the pee for body, nobody go know. We've all had that moment. You go to cry inside the rain. On my bicycle, frozen hand, frozen body, frozen leg, and I still have to get to that place. I have to walk. Then after all of that, years of toiling, years of struggling, years of loneliness, years of so many things, heartache, heartbreaky, all those years. And then you go back to your place, then you expose yourself to another danger. Some of the danger that you cannot genuinely believe that you are a viable victim of it. And it keeps growing. The danger keeps growing. Dangers that actually exposes us to something that after all those years of hard work, all those years of tears, people are seeing you laughing on social media. They don't know the moment you have to sit silently and cry. And cry. As old as you are, cry. And then you still have to brace yourself up and begin, if you are a lady, you have to kind of patch the whole thing up with another makeup so that you can look beautiful. Because you have to. You just have to. You go back to Nigeria, and there you are, exposed. So that's why you understand what people like myself continue to try to remind us, that you can't be living abroad and call it my safe zone, right? There are so many people that could have returned back to Nigeria. You know why they won't? Because they have invested their youth here. They are old now, retired. They need medical care. They need it. It's more reliable, dependable. They can't go back and risk their health. They will die within years, like 2-3 years, they'll die. And because of that, they just chose to stay. They do visit, but that's not what they wanted. That's not how they planned it. Visiting Nigeria at the age of 65, 70, after you have spent about 30 years, 35 years, 40 years abroad, in the cold, especially in this our own island, which is always raining. Now you just visit Nigeria. You built houses there. You just go back there, and then you come back here. You have no, they say, I think I have to go back. I need to see my doctor. I also need to do my checkup. Because you won't last long in that place. That's heartbreaking, So if people like us are trying to kind of make us remember that, listen, it is the least we can do. Okay? It is the least we can do. As much as it seems like we are powerless. But we are not. That is why Maiyegun's Diary Political is there to let you see beyond that yourself alone. Okay? If you're a young person listening to me, it's going to be a different ball game now, but in another 10, 20 years. I was on TikTok. I was on TikTok a few days back. And I was just having a chat, just this random chat like this. And I was telling people what motivated me to start Maiyegun's Diary Political, right? So, and I said I started Maiyegun's Diary Political out of a protest. Protesting against what I have come to see here that we are missing there. And I said, I've been in this country for 12 years. There are people who have been here longer. But this is my lady, or this my ladies, or this my uncles and the old men, I've got elderly people, Maiyegun's Diary Political in their 60s. These are people like I am like grandson to them. Or their last born. Yeah. I have them on Maiyegun's Diary Political. They've been abroad since they were young too. And now they are in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They are fans of Maiyegun's Diary Political. Right? Or if you ask them that, was this your plan to be 80 years old abroad? I say, no. I was planning that at most, once I retired, I'm going to return back to Nigeria, maybe start something. But now, I am afraid I do not want to go back to that place just like that. So I said, I am not going to be in this country, a full-time resident of this country in the next 20 years. I won't. I do not want it to be my own lot. No. Of course, I'm young, but time waits for no one. I said in the next 20 years, I'll be what? I'll be 60 years old. I'll be weak. Yes, I won't be this mentally active, because by then, my own daughter, my Koforola, will probably be in our own. She's currently 15. So 20 years time, she's going to be 35. So which means in 20 years time, Koforola, my daughter, will probably be close to my age now. So I said, if things continues that way there, a lot of us might bad only. Because I won't be in this country like permanently in this country in another 20 years. I do not want to be. And I know that with the way things are going in that contraption, right, it is going to get worse. So eventually, majority of us would have to do something in the next 10 years now. And a lot of things can happen in 10 years. Let me tell you that. A lot of things can happen in 10 years. A lot of things would happen in 20 years' time. So either they kind of fix that place, or would have to actually do it our way. Something will happen. You see, a lot of us here who have, a lot of us who have achieved. You see, some of my viewers here, a lot of you have done so well for yourselves abroad. You've achieved all the things you used to dream about, all those things that you used to wish for. You remember? 30 years ago, 20 years ago. Things that used to be your prayer points, they are now your pastimes. Abi? You get what I mean? Like, there are so many of you watching me right now that most of the things that used to be your prayer points 10, 20, 30 years ago, they are like normal to you now. But Nigeria keeps keeping you away. Nigeria keeps chasing us away. The rot, the destruction of that place keeps holding us back. We are now like, the gold mine for those our own loved ones in Nigeria. So that is why there will be some people that would have to change the course of history. And we are already grooming and being radicalized. Except something happens, there are some things that will never happen. Except something happen, there are things that will never happen. So that is why I am happy to know a lot of us here. In fact, I'm happy to know all of us here that I am going to be not just a teacher, but a philosopher. Somebody that can get you to think and say, that's so true. I would love something than what we are being offered now. So a lot of us are still going to have, some of us would have to take some actions. And that action that we will take, they are not going to be the conventional actions. They are going to be unconventional ones. Yeah, some of us would have to die doing it. Yeah, some of us would have to. Because you see, those who want all of us to remain where we are. I mean, is that not what they say to you? When you tell your family members, I say, I'm thinking of, coming back to Nigeria. Emma, what do you want to come and do? Well, you better stay where you are. This country, just stay where you are. How many people have told you that? Stay where you are. You better stay where you are. Nigeria, well, this country, stay where you are, because that's what they want us to. Stay where you are. Don't ever come back. And that is not life. It is not. I think the only time that people felt like returning back to that place was during Obasanjo's time. And that's a very long time ago. A very long time ago. There's just so much, right? So much that Nigeria has taken away from us. So much. I did say to people, I said, one of the worst thing that Japa did to all of us, that some people didn't really reason it that way, but I'll make you reason it that way, is that it separated us from our family. We are Africans. And one very good attribute of Africans is the fact that we are community oriented. We are sort of community knitted people. That's why they say it takes a community to raise a child. It's not just your papa or your mama that will train you. It takes the whole community. to raise a child. But one thing that Japa did to all of us is that we are separated from our families. A lot of good things that could have become memorable things for us in our families. Majority of us missed out on them. Majority of us missed out on them. It's like it's part of the deal. You're never going to be there. That's one terrible thing that Japa did to us. Yeah, people achieved their aim for education, for exposure, economic, what do you call it? Economic growth and stuff like that. And even personal development and all that. But one thing it took away from us is our family relationship, like a close knitted families where we are always like family. They took that away from us. Japa took that away from us because we are thousands of kilometers or miles away. Yeah, thousands away. Memorable events, memorable family engagements, stuffs that we normally like we're supposed to actually live. We missed out on them. Some of us, our parents died when we are not even there, far away somewhere, maybe walking in the cold. Your phone is ringing. You see, daddy is very sick now. We have rushed him to the hospital. Okay, let me know what they want. I'll send money. Yeah, send money. Mommy is sick. She's very, very sick. We rushed her to the hospital. It's okay. Mommy. Mommy. Okay, I'll keep me updated, okay? Please keep me posted, all right? Make sure you tell me everything going on, okay? I'll send money. And they died. You know? You remember all those things that they say, I want to see all my children. See, all of you need to come. Papa said he wants to say the last word to all the children, but you are not there. You are far away. Japa did that to us. And Nigeria continued to push, even many of the young ones today, keep pushing them out of Nigeria. Any available flights, any available visa, Japa, Japa. And a lot of us have lived a life of loneliness, away from our loved ones. You know, those kind of memorable moments that they want to do naming, they want to do wedding, they want to have the festive period and all that stuff, right? You are far away. You get that now? Graduation in the family, convocation, and you know, all those memorable moments, images, pictures, like bring family album, and you are there. Japa denied us all of that. You got married abroad, they can't be there. Right? You are doing good things abroad yourself, but they can't really be there. Lucky you, those of you who could bring your parents and all that, you are so lucky. You better see, if you have your parents right now in Nigeria, you better do everything you can and let them come around you. You need to, because Japa keeps you away from them. And we are like dead people to our family members, except for the money we are sending. We are not there. When they are planning anything, we are not there. They don't even plan us to, they don't plan us with anything what they are doing because you are far away, except when you send money. That's what Japa did to us. So when you look at what these criminals destroying Nigeria, what they have done to us, it will make you hate them more. And you will do everything you can, if you can, to make sure that they are destroyed too. You know. All those things count. They matter. No matter how much you try to downplay them, they do matter. See, MK left Nigeria before I was born. And I was born 40 years ago, nearly 41 years ago. That's a long time. Do you know how many things happened within the family since you left, sir? How many things that you missed out on? You know how many family, all these brand new family members, children, cousins, nephews, nieces, they were born and some of them are married now and they are just going to be telling them about you. Only a few of them will meet you in your lifetime. Only a few. You know that era where you're like, I am the Olori Ebi right now. I am supposed to be the Olori Ebi, but I am the Olori Ebi that is far away. I am the head of my family. I am far away. The only value I have for my family is that I give them money. And then once in a while, I offer advices that I can't give follow-up. I can't see them. If they are misbehaving, I can only call and say, what is wrong with you? I heard that. Physically, when I was growing up, we are a tight-knitted family when I was growing up. My own grandfather was Olori Ebi, and he was almost everywhere. You know? That is what Nigeria did to us. Yeah, on the one hand, you are thanking God that you made that journey, and to God be the glory, you succeeded, and you thank God for that, right? Yeah, but what about what that journey took away from you? Is that how we grew up? Is that how you grew up? Let's be honest, is that how you grew up? When you were growing up, is this how you grew up? It's not. Except if they born you for abroad. Maybe it's a different story. If they born you for abroad, but you were born in that place and all of that. Mob bank. No, sorry, I don't want you to cry. I just want us to understand why I started Maiyegun's Diary Political. It's a protest platform. I never thought that one day I will become somebody that a lot of you will actually have some connection to, right? I started it as a rant page. I was ranting. I was mad. I was younger. That was 11 years ago. Imagine, I was younger. Now reality is dawning on me too. That means I grew up very early. Or I grew up sooner than I should. See? My lady, Nelly Grace. There are many families like that were sent away too. They sent their children away when they saw the future that this country, the way this country is going. I'm going to send my child, I'm going to send all my children abroad. And then we watch them from far growing old. Hey, there are sometimes when you go to Nigeria and you look at your parents, you're like, oh my God, that is so old now. What have I missed? At least I saw you 2 years ago. I saw you 3 years ago. Now look at mom. My mom is so old now. You get that? Like that feeling. That's what Nigeria did to us. That is why, if to say it's a working place, right? There's nothing wrong in living abroad, right? And then going back there to mingle with families. There are so many of us that can afford to be going to Nigeria every month. Yes, there are some of us that can go to Nigeria and spend 5 days every month in Nigeria. Every month. 12 times, 12 weeks in a year. There are some of us so comfortable that way. But would you go? Would you? You go to Facebook and you start seeing all these, your cousins. You start seeing their children. You start seeing some of your nephews, your nieces. You say, man, I'm waiting that bow. Hi. Man, this one is already. You have graduated from university. Look at this girl, they born there yesterday. You are already a graduate. Yes, she's a graduate. You have been pushed away for too long. Now, when you look back, you'll be like, man, you have all grown, you have all grown up, Yes, they have. But you are not there. The only value you had is that you give them money. And that is the only memory of you they have. You say, you remember that my brother that lives in America? Yeah, but he promised that because I told him that my daughter is getting married. and he said he will send me money. That's the memory of us they have in that place. That is actually the most memory of us they have. That will give them money. So Nigeria didn't help us. Nigeria did us dirty. And that is what I wanted us, most of us who live abroad, to kind of see. I don't hate that place. That's why I said that if breaking it up is going to accelerate this closing of this gap, then so be it. We need to stand up for something. You know, we need to. If we have to break it up as we're advocating for it, if that is what will help us to close the gap of this family, family bond that Nigeria has taken away from us. Now it's even worse now that even if you have chance of going to Nigeria, they've impoverished the people so much that people are traveling to Nigeria and they are avoiding their family members. People who are supposed to say, I've missed you, but you know that you are running away from them now. Say, did you go to Akure when you went to Nigeria? Emike, Akure ke. I don't have money to go to Akure. There's a lot of my people, they go eat me raw. I don't get too much money to give to anybody. And at Lagos, I stay. Only people who I won't see, I tell me they can't see me. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Did you go to Did you go to the East when you travel to Nigeria? Man, I don't go to the East too. And Lagos I do. Just kind of ask people where I want see. Now people where I want see. And tell them so they can stay me. That is what they have done to us. So you need to sit back or you go to bed tonight and just think about all of this and remember that Maiyegun said, the way this Nigeria affects us is so personal. It is so personal that if you think about it, what these guys are doing in Nigeria is hurting us more. If you are abroad and you think you are comfortable, you are in a safe place, mentally, if you think you are not. No, you are not. You are just strong people that can easily endure anything, like there's always this tiny space where we will tell ourselves that it could have been worse. Let's just be grateful. It could have been worse. But there's nothing as worse as being separated from your family. And then the time that it's going to get better enough that you can sit together in the family village or in your family town, in your town or your village where everybody just come around and then, everybody, and that too has been taken away from us. It has been taken away from us. So when they come around and say, you are bad mouthing Nigeria, say, are you mad? Are you mad? Bad mouthing Nigeria. Do you know what Nigeria is doing to us? The more they are impoverishing the people there, the more they are mismanaging that place, the more they are destroying the place. You are not the only victim. If you are in Nigeria, hardship, poverty, all those things, right? They are part of the problem. Or try the mental health part of it. Then you realize that it's not about living in America, living in this. I am kind of like, somehow I have to say kudos to those of you who have found an alternative way of making yourself feel good. Travel the world. But there's always going to be that missing link. That missing link. And that one is supposed to be the cheapest. Family. Family, friends, people you grew up with. Being able to be around them, being able to actually denying us that. That's what they have done to us. So it is now like, do you want to just risk it all and just go to the place and ignore all of it? The one is, yes, there are people who will do that. Do you get that? But even those who are taking all the risk and going in and doing all of that, they themselves are not actually experiencing it at the optimum standard. And what Japa did to us is that he sent us away from our family. There is no injustice worse than that. People used to go to abroad to study and return back to their family, to return back to the land. But now people are using, you see people who have masters. Now they are doing another degree in Cyprus. When they finish that degree, that master degree, they want to do another one. They are in America. People who have already had their first degree, second degree. But because of Japa, they are still in America doing the fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, seventh one. They just want to remain there because they can't go back to that place and kind of like live there. You see people, they are in their 50s. They are still students abroad. She life near. That's not life. So if you are not upset at the way they are running Nigeria, it is because you are not thinking. I'm sorry if I'm making you become emotional. It's kind of like, it's better than nothing, right? Sometimes we talk to ourselves so that we're not just talking about the ruiners. Now we are talking about how this actually affects us, which is good. You know, if you have never thought it this way, or think about it this way, then maybe I'm going to make you do so. Think about it. But the most important thing is that what will change everything for us is not going to be about all of us standing up. There are many of us that will remain seated. They can't be troubled. They can't be bothered. That is their nature. I want to remind you of that, okay? It is not everybody that is going to be able to say, yes, oh yeah, let's stand up. Let us, oh yeah, aluta. No. You will be mistaken. Except for those that are called. And those that are called, they will hear the message, they will take it, they will take it in, they will digest it, and they will know themselves. It is not all of us go stand up and fight, because maybe all of us have the same strength to fight. I need to remind you of that too. Because when somebody says, okay, what is the way forward? What should we do? The first thing is to identify the problem. And the next thing is to be willing and ready to neutralize the problem. And that is not for everybody. See, sometimes, right? Sometimes when I talk like this, it will be like I'm actually speaking to someone. Yeah, I've had that experience a lot of time. When I have time to just leave all this talk about these rogues, and I just want to pour out my mind, my heart, right? Like this. Usually I usually end up speaking directly to 1, 2, 3 people. And it will just be like I'm kind of like speaking out your experience, your own personal. Sure, you get? And I like it. That is what you call the connection, getting connected. You are connecting to what I am saying, which is great. So, maybe all of us go fight. No. Stop expecting everybody to probably be like you or be like me. We are not all caught, in the same cloth, I would say, not in this way. We are not. There are some of us that will only give emotional support. There are some of us that will give financial support. And there are some of us that, obviously, they will give their own physical support. So everybody has a role to play. Once you understand what is at stake, once you understand what the message is, once you understand what the target is. Once you're able to connect to it here and there, you will find your space, you will find your place, and we will reach what is called the critical mass someday soon. So don't expect everybody to kind of be ready to, that you are a man or you are a woman, doesn't define what role you are going to play. Okay, you will find your space, you will find your place in all of this after you understand what is really at stake. So I've spent over 2 hours talking to you like your general overseer, right? And I do not want to put you in that same position all the time, okay? I do not want to make you feel depressed like this all the time, okay? So I'm going to round it up, right? I'm just going to let you go and digest it. So once in a while like that, maybe I should be pouring out my own heart, you know? I should be pouring out my heart like this because I do not want you. I have not seen a single person laugh. Usually I will see all of you laughing with all your laughing emojis. And I just sit down there like, Maiyegun. Abi? No, I mean, if we have been doing that all the time, a lot of you would have been like, oh my God. No, I don't want to put you in that situation all the time, okay? I don't want to put you in this position all the time. But once in a while, I need to remind you, right, the reason behind Maiyegun's diary political. Do you understand? So that the whole purpose is not lost on us, okay? I spend a lot of time to expose the rot in the system. A lot of us know about this rot. And we need to be reminded of them all the time, right? We should be reminding ourselves. That is what you get on Maiyegun's diary political. But tonight is about like a heart-to-heart talk where you can easily kind of feel like, man, I actually never thought, I've never thought about it that way. Oh my God, that's so right. That's so true. Something has to be done. What can I do? What should I do? You know, that sentiment. There must be that moment of sentimental moment where you have to have that sentiment. And say, man, oh my God, I'm going to turn 50 next year. And that's going to be my 25th year abroad. I've never thought it that way. Oh my God. I need to stop saying that people should stand up. I think I should stand up. You get what I mean? Like, no, I think I should stop expecting people to do something. No, I think I should do something. Yeah, we should be having that moment on Maiyegun's diary political. Because that is the reason why I started this channel 11 years ago. And now I've got disciples, I've got people that want to listen to what I have to say. You know, so it's always good that many are called, but few will be chosen, and the chosen will know themselves. You know what I mean? So it's not all of us that are going to actually stand up and fight. Only few of us will fight. The rest, right? They will push and push until something gives. And we are going to get to that. So thank you very much, everyone. And I am going to go and do something about StreamYard. So what I'm going to do is that I will study this because this seems good. You heard me all loud and clear, Abi? And there is no delay. My lip is sinking enough, right? Like my lips, obviously my lips actually sinks enough, right? There's no delay, or is there? I need to ask you before you go. Right? Everything plumb, except for the usual intermittent clips to sort of break the ice. Right. So thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Oh, bless you. That's Latu. Thank you very much. See, it's almost similar. Look at this. It's almost similar to StreamYard, okay? I could put or highlight anyone who gives me a super chat. I could put them on my screen. And it's just a little bit different, but we can fix that and make it look fancy as others. So I want to say a very big thank you to all of you that came back after that disruption. Okay. So when next we have this kind of problem, we can easily just jump onto the restream, and who knows if I am able to pull back all the clips that we normally use here, intermittently in our broadcast. We probably will sign up to restream. It seems to have a better graphic and then what have you. So I will work on that. But we are still going to use our StreamYard because even if I cancel it, right, they are still going to allow me to use it for another 30 days rather. So thanks so much for coming back after that initial disappointment. And thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Because that's what it is, right? TED Talk on Maiyegun's Diary Political. Enjoy the rest of your evening or night. And I shall see you